speaking of castings, someone that was formerly the big bad of the MCU, or at least we thought it was going to be, Jonathan Majors, as Kang the Conqueror. He had starred in a movie called Magazine Dreams, which had debuted, I believe, a couple of years back now, Ricky Flicks. Okay. I think that was debuting 2023. I think it was after Quantumania at a festival. Is that right?
I believe it was last year is when it first
Oh,
got
it's last
debuted.
year.
Yeah,
Okay.
like around the like after Quantum Mania, and it debuted, and everyone's like, "Holy crap, this is the Oscar winner of next year in
Right.
2024. Like this is your best actor." And this movie is going to be shot was obviously going to be shopped around, as in who wants to buy this movie to distribute it. But then obviously Jonathan Majors, everything that happened, it's like, uh-oh. And this movie went silent, went dead, and some people thought it might never come back or it might never come out.
Right. After like the quote unquote cancellation of Jonathan Majors. But what recently happened, Magazine Dreams has been acquired by Briarcliff to release in early 2025. So, Ricky, do you think with the release of this movie, could it spark a bit of a comeback for Jonathan Majors, right? If people see this performance and they say, wow, this was something, we knew this guy was talented, it's a reminder of how talented he was. Do you think it could spark a little bit of some comeback for Majors?
God, I'm gonna be this guy and say yes.
I think so too. I think it could lead to potentially maybe independent filmmakers wanting to work with him, almost like starting from scratch. Like you don't expect him to be in anything IP. Like obviously he was in Creed, great in Creed 3. He was a couple times he played variants of Kang the Conqueror, variants of Kang. Now it's like I feel like if Magazine Dreams comes out, it's a reminder and like he'll take a lower paycheck. He'll work for an independent film, in order to get that off the ground. And maybe his career, he'll just scratch and claw and get his way back. I think it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Hey, like there's a reason Searchlight bought this movie. Like like there's a reason. Like
Initially,
initially, like Searchlight, they're a lower budget. Like they're a true A24, like what A24 was. Searchlight still is. They're very selective. They're like, we need to pick a movie that can make an Oscars run, whether it's the actual movie or a performance or something, right? Something to cling on to. And they did it because holy crap, Jonathan Majors' transformation in this movie is like is something that you just cannot deny. And that's what I'm saying. Why I'm saying like you're not going to be able to deny this performance. And he's going to be obviously on a hiatus. This movie was filmed years ago. Like that's why like he was jacked before he started Creed 3 because of this project, right? So it was just like I think there's going to be enough time passed, right? For this movie comes out early 2025. So next we're talking a whole another year that's going to pass. And this movie's going to come out. And I think a lot of Hollywood loves a comeback story. I think he's going to get a little comeback. And it'll be like similar to like an actor where they're just missing on all cylinders. Similarly, maybe like someone will bring up is like Robert Pattinson post Twilight. He had to go through the indie route and then look at him now. I'm not saying Majors will ever get back to like a Pattinson or get to his Pattinson status, but maybe he will have to go back and do the indie route for a few years, and then maybe he gets another shot 5-6 years down the road.
we could be looking at something where down the road we're talking about the comeback of Jonathan Majors. Like I can 100% see that conversation happening. When you think about like the cancellation of actors recently, he's still super young, you know, and he kind of had everyone. He had the Hollywood world on notice. Like this is the next guy, like the supreme talent he had. It's almost like the Robert Downey Jr.'s comeback is something that people always cite, how people always knew how talented he was. And then like obviously the drug addiction and everything like came to haunt him, right? Arrested, jail time, all that jazz. And then I think Jonathan Majors, like it could be something where the talent, like you said, is undeniable, and he's young enough where he can recover. When you think about people that have been canceled, like an Army Hammer or like a Kevin Spacey, like their Army Hammer's no longer a young guy, and things that he was accused of, right? He never has recovered from. They made documentaries about it. Like he was someone that it was hard to imagine because it seemed like so far fetched, like what was being proposed, that he was like literally attempting to eat people, like he's a cannibal. Like that was crazy, right? Of a thing that came out, but he seems to be content. Major seems like he wants to be back. Like there's been videos of him back in the limelight. He still seems like a famous guy. Seems like he wants to get back in the business, wants to be in the mix. So, and I think that video came out of him upset with Robert Downey Jr.'s casting as the next big bad. He seems ambitious. I could see this guy like making the turn, making the comeback that gets him beyond beyond just magazine dreams coming out.
Yeah. So two more things here. One, Briarwood, the the entertainment company that bought these rights.
Yeah, I looked this up.
Oh, so you know what movie they're releasing this year?
The Apprentice.
This weekend. Yeah. But yeah, the other ones are like a bunch of Liam Neeson movies, action movies like Memory, and a couple like
Yeah.
they're not usually doing this type of thing. So The Apprentice, this very interesting, very like edgy, bold, very interesting for them. But I want to also read this out. The second thing is with Majors and this movie. So this premiered at Sundance, right? Sundance, Park City, a lot of like indie movies that have like that want to generate a lot of buzz go to Sundance. And this won the Creative Vision Award at Sundance. All right. So a lot of buzz to win that award at Sundance. And obviously 82% on Rotten Tomatoes, obviously probably divisive as well because of the subject matter with like the bodybuilding and whatnot. But this movie clearly is something. It's like, I won't say there's something about this movie where I'm not going to say it's must see, but it's unique. And to like win those awards, get all this buzz, I want to see it badly. I do. And it's like one where Jonathan Majors, just because it's not too soon for this movie to come out, but it's maybe a little too soon to say, oh, you're going to be nominated and win an Oscar. So we might look back on this, post maybe a comeback and say, if we do a top billing draft of like Jonathan Majors' best performances, this will be number one, but he will not even be considered for an Oscar because it's too soon for that.
This felt like the one that he was banking on, the one that was going to send him into a different stratosphere. He had all the momentum, and then when people saw this, they were going to be like, he might be
picture of him in the
he might be the guy. He might be the guy.
That's still like it would be still the year contender with him like looking absolutely huge.
Yeah. We're going to see it. No doubt. I'm going to see it.
Have to see it.